Eliza Spencer was a young girl invested in giving back to her community. She lived in Binghamton, New York, and her life was cut short when she was only 12. She was in 6th grade at East Middle School when she got killed by a gunman late at night. If you have any unwanted books, you can put them in the Little Free Library at Calvin Coolidge School in Binghamton, New York. This gives kids who don't have an opportunity to get their own books a chance to read. This library was made at Calvin Coolidge because this is where Eliza attended school when she was younger. Eliza had a very strong passion for reading. If you want to live your life like how Eliza did and give back to your community, this is a great way to do so. This library is actively being used, so we do need more books. However, if you don't have any books to give but are looking for some to take, this is a great place to come. Another way you can give back to your community in honor of Eliza is the Blessing Box. The Blessing Box is located on 209 East Frederick Street. The Blessing Box is a place you can drop off extra food or any other items that the less fortunate could use. The Blessing Box was hand-built by Binghamton citizens outside of their house. Any donation to the Little Free Library or Blessing Box is appreciated. Next week at Calvin Coolidge, the students and staff are doing a collection for the Eliza Spencer Little Free Library and the Blessing Box. Students and staff can bring in a gently used book to donate to the library or a non-perishable food item to donate to the Blessing Box. Please consider to donate if you can. Thank you for watching.
Hey everybody. On April 21st, 2022, Eliza Spencer was shot and killed outside of her home while about to go on a walk with her parents. Now, it's been 2 years since this little girl was murdered, and there has been no information. Nobody has come forward. There's no leads. There's no additional information has been provided in the past 2 years. At this point, it's reached the FBI. So if anybody out there has any information on who shot and killed Eliza Spencer, please contact the Binghamton City Police Department and contact the FBI. Because it's absolutely ridiculous that 2 years has gone by and there's been no information. Now, I can say, as a resident of Binghamton, New York, and as a father, this hits really close to home with me. I know Fred Spencer. He gave me an opportunity years ago as a ring announcer, and I produced a television show for him when he owned 3DW Pro Wrestling, which has since evolved into the current Excite Wrestling that we have in Binghamton, New York. I also take it close to heart because his daughter Eliza is the same age as my daughter Natalia. And when my daughter Natalia was born, Fred was one of the first people to congratulate me and my wife on the birth of our baby girl, and told me that he and his wife just recently had a baby daughter themselves. That baby daughter was Eliza. This family has been heartbroken and hurt for the past 2 years. And not only do they, but Eliza Spencer deserves justice. As a resident of Binghamton, the night she was shot, the power was out in the city, especially on the east side. And at the time everything went down, there was no security cameras currently active that was able to get anything. And none of the residents who owned Ring cameras, like myself, all of our Ring cameras were offline. Nobody was able to capture anything. And it's been 2 years and nobody's come forward with any information. So again, if you have any information on who killed Eliza Spencer, please contact the Binghamton City Police Department, the New York State Police, and contact the FBI.
Fuck Ian Daddy Bones. Fuck Twin Widow, whatever the hell it is. No one gives a shit about you, Ian. Everyone hates you. Fuck off.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Having a banger and you're all invited. Share with friends and I'll see you later. Bring everyone, invite my haters. Throw your hands in the fucking air. Let's push a cripple down a flight of stairs. Got new shit right for your ears. My Hadouken is downright fierce. Rock out with my cock out. Jump around, I got your shout outs. I'm Daddy Bones, no need to panic. Talking riddles like a schizophrenic.
Welcome back! It's another exciting episode of Ian vs. Daddy Bones. I am Ian Daddy Bones. I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. If you're watching on Facebook and YouTube right now, hey everybody, thank you for checking out the show. Do me a solid and smash that fucking share button. I got people locally that I can't count on anymore, so it's all up to you. As always, I got a special high five and a nut dap to all my Patreon subscribers, throwing me $3 a month to support the brand, getting your name in the credits, getting access to bonus content, and you get access to the Original Geeks podcast. Plus, this is the first episode of Ian vs. Daddy Bones. I can officially say thank you to my new Facebook subscribers. Between last episode and this episode, thanks to everybody supporting me, smashing that share button, watching the show, helping me increase my views, gain new followers. Because of y'all, I was able to level up on Facebook. I unlocked a new perk, and the new perk is now I could offer monthly subscriptions. So, for those of y'all watching the show that A, don't want to fuck with the Patreon, and I totally get that. You have to go to another site, create a login and whatnot. I totally get it. Or you have to download an app. I totally get it. For those who do fuck with me through Patreon, thank you guys very much. For those who don't want to fuck with the Patreon, and for those who don't know how to read and think I'm trying to send you Patron, I'm not sending you alcohol. It's pronounced Patreon. So for those of y'all that can't read or don't want to fuck with the Patreon, now you can subscribe for $2 a month on Facebook. Now what that means for Facebook subscribers is you get an appetizer sampler of all the bonus content that everybody else is getting on the Patreon. If you don't want to go to the Patreon, I totally get it. If you just want to fuck with me on Facebook, I totally get it, and I'm thankful and appreciative. So for the $2 a month, I'm going to be throwing up bonus content going forward, and I'm also going to be throwing up a sampling of last year's bonus content, plus I'm going to be including some episodes of the Original Geeks podcast going forward. So you get half the show for free on the internet, you get the other half of the show, but you're only getting like 25 to 30% of the bonus content through the Facebook subscriptions. But again, you're supporting the brand, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Truly thankful that you decide to fuck with me and say I'm your dude. But today on the show, since the last episode where it was my tribute to Virgil, and I talked about X-Men '97, I have wound up opening up the Cyclops figure. I have since done a Facebook reel for Jean Grey, and I was considering doing reels for the 3 remaining X-Men '97 figures that I have, but the more I thought about it, between kind of wanting to take a few days to myself after doing the last episode, that's also when I found out I unlocked Facebook subscriptions. So I've had 2 episodes of the Original Geeks podcast, Battle Armor He-Man, and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man bonus videos. I did an OGPC on the Fallout TV series, and I did OGPC where I look back on WrestleMania 40. So all 4 of those videos are currently available on the Patreon, and they're available for Facebook subscribers. So have at the bonus content if you want to throw me some chips and subscribe to what I do. But while I was getting the bonus content all edited and uploaded and shit, I kind of thought about it because I'm looking at the calendar and, you know, this is the last episode of the month. So I decided, instead of just doing Facebook Reels for the remaining episodes, for the remaining week, I figured I would just open up Storm and X-Cutioner today, and depending on how I'm looking at time, I may be doing Nightcrawler. I may be saving Nightcrawler for the final Facebook reel for the month. I'm still trying to figure out as I'm recording the show. But in the time since I filmed the last episode, edited and mixed down the last episode, and published that episode, I can officially say I have added the Goblin Queen to my collection of X-Men Legends, Marvel Legends X-Men 97 figures. So I have the Madeline Pryor with the Baby Nathan, Baby Cable figure included, and she's got magical effects for her hands. And for the time being, I do not plan on opening this Goblin Queen figure because everybody's raving about her. Everybody's trying to get her. She's not being able to be found in stores. I got lucky and found her at an FYE thanks to my buddy Jim giving me the heads up. And it's funny because I got a funny story going with that because I was at work. It was a Saturday, right? I got back in town. I was getting ready to film some bonus content. Jim messaged me and sent me a picture that he wound up going to Soundaround and wound up grabbing a Marvel Legends 2-pack of Patch Wolverine and Joe Fixit Incredible Hulk. So it's Wolverine and they're in their white tuxedos, right? So I got those currently pre-ordered. I'm just waiting for them to come in. But Jim wound up grabbing his from Soundaround. So Jim sent me a message saying, FYE, they have Goblin Queen, but with text message slang and the fact that I never go to the mall, I misinterpreted Jim's FYE as a misspelled FYI. So I thought Jim was telling me that Soundaround had Goblin Queen, and I'm trying to follow Jim's text message like a treasure map instructions of where to go in the store looking for this Goblin Queen figure. And I'm not finding it anywhere in Soundaround. And I even ran into Justin at Soundaround, Just Incredible Cosplay. He was down there, and I told him, I'm looking for a Goblin Queen figure. Apparently Jim said he saw it down here, and even Justin's looking through the store with me for the Goblin Queen figure. And I told Jim, well, I don't think they have it at Soundaround. And Jim's like, nah, bro, I said FYE. And I'm like, oh, I thought you were saying FYI, so I completely fucked that up on my own. So I completely spent like 45 minutes in Soundaround looking for a Goblin Queen figure that wasn't even at Soundaround. She was at FYE the whole time. So thankfully and luckily, she was still available at FYE. So I was able to get Goblin Queen. So as of right now, when it comes to the first 2 waves of X-Men 97 figures, all I need is the second Magneto, and I need Rogue and Bishop. And I'm totally caught up and current with these figures. I don't know what's going on with the 3rd wave right now. Episode, I believe what the episode came this week. I think this week's episode was episode 7. So I think there's 2 more episodes left, and we're calling it a season. So I'd like to think they're going to continue forward with at least another wave of Marvel Legends X-Men 97 figures, because based on where they're at in the series right now and the figures that they released, you know, and the fact that they're putting them out in waves of 6, like I'm feeling Sunspot, Jubilee, and Beast could definitely get figures. I'm thinking Cable should probably get a figure. Mr. Sinister can grab a figure. And a character that showed up in the last episode named Bastion. Seems like he's a big deal of a threat, so I think maybe Bastion should probably get a figure in the future. Who the hell knows? But they also showed a variant of Charles Xavier in this series, so who the hell knows if he's going to get a figure. But for starters, let's get this Storm figure open, because the reason I decided to, I settled on picking Storm and X-Cutioner is for being 2 figures that they put out in these Marvel Legends figures for X-Men 97. These 2 figures are connected as far as the episode and the story they're trying to tell, because basically like they had like the trial of Magneto go down in the 2nd episode, and they came under attack by the Friends of Humanity, and basically, X-Cutioner showed up, and he's got his gun, and with his gun, alright, that's kind of crappy. He's got his gun, and with his gun, he wound up shooting at Storm, and from shooting at Storm, he wound up hitting her with his gun, and it wound up causing Storm to completely lose her powers. So Storm has spent the majority of the season not having her powers, not being able to really be an X-Man, and she's kind of just pretty much been useless the whole season. She was a big deal in like the first 2 episodes, and then ever since she lost her powers, she's kind of been null and void. But yeah, I'm not really getting her to stand up too well. There I go. But I do gotta say, considering I opened up the Jean Grey figure already, I know what to expect with like female bodies with the Marvel Legends figures, and I'm not even trying to like, you know, body shame or anything, because to be honest with you, this Storm figure, while being female, is pretty decent for a figure. I've opened up Spider-Man figures that were skinnier than she was, and that's not saying anything bad against her. It's just like, my God, did they need to make Miles Morales that fucking thin? But basically what I'm getting at is, compared to her and Jean, I know what to expect, and especially with Jean, like, it's not like Cyclops, you know what I mean, where like, I'm not saying Jean Grey isn't meant to be posed, but Cyclops is all about like being posed in those, you know, action hero shots, especially with the alternate head and his optic blast that pops into his face. He looks pretty fucking dope. Jean Grey, on the other hand, all you could really do with her is swap out her hands, you know what I mean, and give her one hand so she could touch her frickin' temple, and then hold up her other hand so she's using her powers. It would have been cool if it came with like a translucent like purple effect that she could put on her hand to make it look like she's using her telepathy, you know. They couldn't even include any like lightning gimmicks with Storm to like put on her hands, which, you know, seems like would have made sense, because they were able to do the same thing for Goblin Queen to make it look like she's got magical effects on her hands, like she's charging up a spell. But my only complaint with the Storm figure, to be honest with you, because it's a dope head sculpt, the face sculpt's pretty sick, you know, her white costume with the gold accents and the X logos is pretty fucking dope. My only complaint is she's got this flimsy, like, vinyl, like, dollar store picnic table, like, it feels like a dollar store tablecloth. So like if you're going to the park for like your niece's birthday, and you know they're like, hey, get some party supplies, and you're too fucking cheap to go to Party City that you go to like Family Dollar instead. This feels like a Family Dollar tablecloth. Like they couldn't even give Storm a like soft pliable cape like fucking Magneto came with, or even Gambit's jacket. Like, she's got this horrible freaking fabric cape I think's absolutely ridiculous. I am not impressed with this at all. But, overall, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't buy this figure because I'm a huge fan of Storm. I got this figure because I needed to complete the wave. My goal was to build a team of X-Men. And for Storm, she kind of gets a pass because another one of my reasons for wanting to buy the X-Men 97 figures is because I wanted to build a decent team of X-Men to put on my collectible shelf, okay? And I also wanted to have the X-Men figures to pair with my Jada Street Fighter 2 figures so I can build rosters from X-Men versus Street Fighter. And for Storm being an X-Men versus Street Fighter, you know, she gets a pass. So, Storm's pretty fucking dope, even though I hate her fucking cape. But the one thing I can say is hopefully the next version of Storm is an improvement from this first figure. And like, if you're wondering what I said, new version of Storm the last episode of X-Men 97, spoiler alert, she got her powers back. And it's kind of cool because we got white outfit, mohawk, 80s Storm, right? And, or maybe I have it wrong with the design. No, I think it's 80s mohawk Storm, because when she gets her powers back, she goes from an all-white outfit to an all-black outfit, and she has long white hair, and she looks like she did in like that giant-size X-Men, and she looks really fucking dope. So the black outfit, long-haired version of Storm is more than likely going to be getting another figure. Hopefully, they put the Storm variant in the 4th wave. Honestly, I'd like to see Wave 3 contain characters that haven't been released yet, because I would rather get new figures that I don't have, that I need to add to my collection, rather than rolling my eyes because I have to buy a second version of a character I already have, which is why I've been holding off on the second version of Magneto so bad, because I was just trying to complete a team of X-Men, and I already have the version of Magneto that I want. Alright, we're back, and before I get started on X-Cutioner, I do want to say I'm super geeked out and excited because we're wrapping up April with the rest of my remaining X-Men 97 figures, but rolling into May, I am going to be talking about the Turtles of Grayskull line, and I'm also going to be talking about Masters of the Universe cartoon collection, because I do have Wave 1 of Cartoon Collection, and I have some of Wave 2, and I have Wave 1 of Turtles of Grayskull, and this week, finally, after having them pre-ordered for like 3 months, my Wave 2 of Turtles of Grayskull finally started showing up. So I got Shredder, Raphael, and Beastman from Wave 2 already showed up, processed. They're in my pile of loot. I'm just waiting on Ram Man to show up. So that's what my goal is for May. I'm going to be talking about some cartoon collection and Turtles of Grayskull. Also, I'm officially happy to announce that starting in June, I'm going to be doing my Mega Block builds. Starting with the Mega Eternia Battleground, because something else I can say, this week I officially paid off the Mega Castle Grayskull that I bought last year. I've been financing that shit for over the past year, and finally got that shit paid off, and I'm super excited because now that that's paid off, it's mine, I own it, and I can get ready to build it someday. And the other thing is, now that that's paid off, now I can keep my fingers crossed that Mattel Creations does this year what they did last year. And what they did last year is how I wound up getting the Mega Castle Grayskull in the first place, because Mattel Creations had an announcement that they had a 33% off sale on select items on their website. Now, looking at the select items on their website, They had all sorts of stuff for their various brands, like WWE and Barbie and Hot Wheels and Matchbox and Monster High and Masters of the Universe and Mega. So while looking over the Mega stuff last year, they had like certain select items. Well, not select items. They pretty much had everything 33% off. And they had the Mega Castle Grayskull, which normally retails at $295. They had that shit 33% off. I wound up grabbing it for $205, financing that over a year, so it was painless and easy peasy when it came to, not going balls to the wall with it and pissing my wife off. I was able to finance it over the course of the year, which was super dope. And by doing that, I had that. I was able to finance it for a year, 12 months at $20 a month, zero down, and they shipped that shit out in the mail. So, what I'm hoping to do this year, if the situation allows me to, I'm hoping they have a 33% off sale again between now and the next month and a half, like they did, because it was like the end of June, early July, going into this sale when I had the Mega Castle Grayskull show up, or maybe it was in the beginning of June. I gotta double check. Either way, I filmed it for Ian versus Daddy Bones, so it's available on the YouTube channel. But yeah, like I said, I've been paying that shit off over a year. My goal is to wait for the 33% off sale this year, and if it goes down and I'm able to grab it and finance it, I'm going for the Mega Snake Mountain. That's going to be fucking awesome. If I get both the Mega, not only both the Mega Snake Mountain, but I have the Mega Castle Grayskull, and then I'll have the Mega Eternia Battleground. But that's the thing too. I'm hoping Mattel announces this year. I'm hoping we get the second Eternia Tower, because Grayskull Tower and Viper Tower have not been shown, announced, or released in Mega form yet. But that Eternia Battleground Tower does have the track connectors hanging off the front and side of the top of the tower. So it's telling me that the other towers are going to be including the track pieces if and when they do make that. So, like I said, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they do make that Grayskull Tower and Viper Tower in the Mega Bloks form. Now, this is kind of weird to me because he's got this armor, but he also has this peg hole on the back for his gun. And it looks like it was kind of hard to access for a moment because of the way his... he's got this back strap on his armor, which was like covering the hole that his gun's supposed to store in. And it kind of doesn't make sense either because... I don't know. He's got this cannon on his arm, but the back of the card shows both of these metal rods and the gun resting comfortably in the back. But I don't know how the hell that's possible because there's only one hold amount of weapon. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Hold on a second. Is that supposed to fit there? No, it doesn't. There's two holes on the back of his gun that look like the handles for this would fit in, but it doesn't line up with them sticking over out the back. So I'm assuming either you could put different weapons in the back to have them hold on to, but I don't know, I kind of like him having the one cannon on his arm. But yeah, there's X-Cutioner. He looks pretty badass. He looks pretty badass, but kind of basic at the same time. Like, that's my only complaint with this figure is the figure is pretty badass and, like, he feels heavy. Like, he feels like he has die-cast metal on him at points. Like, he feels like his boots could be, like, die-cast metal. He feels like his biceps and elbows have, like, die-cast metal on them. It's pretty badass. Like, he feels really heavy compared to Storm. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, right there's Storm and X-Cutioner. But like I said, my only real complaint with him is he got a figure, but he only showed up in like 2 episodes. You know what I mean? And she shows up looking all badass, but she loses her powers in the 2nd episode. But it makes sense to pair these two together when it comes to pairing off your action figures. You know what I mean? Like, it's safe to, like, I mean, normally it'd be safe to have Rogue and Gambit standing next to each other, but now you could have, you know, Rogue standing in the middle of Gambit and the 2nd Magneto figure. You could have Cyclops and Jean hanging out with each other. You know, you could have Madeline Pryor in that mix. You could have freaking Cyclops walking with Jean while Scott's looking over his shoulder, checking out Goblin Queen, like, hey girl, you know what I mean? Anything could fucking go down. But nah, that's again, that's my only real complaint with this figure is he got a figure in the 2nd wave. You know, I feel like people want Mr. Sinister, and we haven't gotten Mr. Sinister yet, even though we really haven't gotten much Mr. Sinister in X-Men 97, even though he's been there over the course of the season. We just haven't gotten full Sinister yet in X-Men 97. But like I said, these 2 figures are great. I'm glad to finally get them out of their packaging, add them to the collection. I'm going to look over my timer real quick because I think I'm going to say fuck it. And you know what? We're going to take a break real quick and I'm going to see where I'm at on the camera. We're back. I am gonna open up Nightcrawler. Just gotta give myself some room. I move Storm, X-Cutioner. Got Nightcrawler. Oh, again, he came out in the 2nd wave with Cyclops, Jean Grey, X-Cutioner, Goblin Queen, 2nd Magneto. Nightcrawler's always been a popular X-Men. I've always liked him. I had fun playing as him in the X-Men arcade video game that Konami put out. I remember playing as Nightcrawler on the Sega Genesis X-Men game. And honestly, Nightcrawler was one of those characters that I wish they put in Marvel vs. Capcom back in the day, because he probably would have been sick being able to teleport and shit. But, alright, easy peasy. Now, nothing against Nightcrawler, but, I mean, I know, that kind of sounds like a complaint, even though I'm not really trying to complain with Nightcrawler, because he's really a dope figure. I like this figure a lot. Oh, sweet, he can move his tail. That's cool. See how he That is one thing too I did have to do after I got home with the last episode of the show. I did wind up giving Jean Grey a fig bath because I was not able to like get her joints posed at all, and yeah, I'm not even gonna really worry about posing him too crazy. I will say I'm not a fan of the basic head that comes with him. Now he does include 2 punching hands, but I like the hands that he comes with better. I don't know. I always feel like just basic ass closed fists on an action figure is like boring as shit and lazy. But yeah, there we go. I want the head where he's gonna show his teeth. Or at least some emotion with his expression. There we go. Nice little pop on that. There we go. Nice, sick. There he is. Nightcrawler. I don't really have any complaints with this figure. You put him in an action type pose and he stands. Of course, I think his feet help because he has like the clawed dual toe, kind of like a Ninja Turtle. But yeah, he's got the articulated tail. He's got his yeah, yeah, rocks back and forth, turns at the waist, swivel. He's got the double. Well, he looks like he has a single knee. Or no, actually, no, I looked at that wrong. He has the double knee. He has the double elbow. So, he's all sorts of posable. But, yeah, there you go in a nutshell. The remaining X-Men 97 figures that I was able to grab so far. Like I said, I only need the second Magneto, Rogue, and Bishop to be completely caught up. I have my Goblin Queen. I'm not planning on opening her right now because, I don't know. I've seen her going for different amounts on the internet. I've seen like eBay listings where she's going for like $60. I've seen eBay listings where she's going for $100. And I've seen eBay listings where she's going for $180 mint on card. So the fact that I was able to find one and I'm seeing different prices like that going across eBay, I'm in no hurry to sell her, so I'm going to be holding on to her. But right now, she doesn't need to be opened up and added to the collection. She wasn't even in X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and that's okay, because she has such a badass presence in X-Men 97, and yeah, I'm very impressed with how heavy and weighty this figure is. Like, he's like a fucking paperweight. Like, Nightcrawler, light as fuck. Storm, light as fuck. You know, this guy, like, look at that. Like, he makes noise when he falls the fuck over. Like, he's super fucking beefy. And, speaking of beefy, from what I understand, that, Turtles of Grayskull Ram Man figure is quite impressive for anybody who has already had theirs arrive and they were able to open him up and take him out of his package. He's kind of bigger than most of the what you would expect with the Masters of the Universe origin scale. Like, he's not out of scale where he doesn't look like he belongs. He looks like he's a big boy that fits in with the existing figures as he should. He just seems more beefier than normal, and I totally get what they're coming from, because I've opened Masterverse figures, but then I've opened Whiplash, and like, holy shit, Whiplash was chunky as shit. I've opened Revolution Beastman, but then I opened the new Eternia Beastman, and new Eternia Beastman is a beefy boy, you know what I mean? So this guy, seriously, definitely weighty. I gotta play around with him more, but yeah, that definitely feels like some, maybe just a little, but enough to where there's weight of die-cast metal in that figure, because he's super nice. But I'm very impressed with these X-Men 97 figures. I mean, overall, I'm impressed with the Marvel Legends, because honestly, my whole thing with the Marvel Legends started off with me just wanting to find a decent Spider-Man, and then I started seeing they're coming out with all these Spider-Man movie-related figures, and then they were putting out a wave of like MCU Infinity Saga's greatest hits re-releases, and I got my Tony Stark Iron Man, you know what I mean? I was able to grab some of the X-Men 97 figures, and I was even able to grab like a movie Venom and shit. So I've been having a blast with the Marvel Legends. I like that they're pretty much the same scale as the Masters of the Universe also, even though they're 6 inches and not 5.5 inches. But if you stand them up straight and don't have them squat at the knees, the Masters of the Universe figures definitely come to 6 inches. But for them being cross-compatible and the same scale as the Jada Toys figures, I'm all about that, because like at my house right now, I got like Ryu throwing a fireball, and I got Cyclops standing there shooting an optic blast at his ass, and it's fucking awesome. But my name is Ian Daddy Bones. Seriously, take a chance on me. Subscribe to the Facebook for only $2 a month. Subscribe on the Patreon for $3 a month. You get access to all of last year's bonus content, including all of the original Geeks podcast episodes that I've uploaded. But until next time, cheers, Pete!
Fuck Ian Daddy Bones. Fuck Twin Widow, whatever the hell it is. No one gives a shit about you, Ian. Everyone hates you. Fuck off.
Oh my god, I'm so excited, having a banger and you're all invited. Share with friends and I'll see you later. Bring everyone, invite my haters. Throw your hands in the fucking air. Let's push a cripple down a flight of stairs. Got new shit right for your ears. My Hadouken is downright fierce. Rock out with my cock out. Jump around, I got your shout outs. I'm Daddy Bones, no need to panic. Talking riddles like a schizophrenic. 24/7, I got the party. Roofie roos and whoop-de-doos. Retarded fools with attitudes, bro. Everything's mixed with Bacardi. Glow stick black like tons of bubbles. Titties on bitches, nothing but trouble. Got my pills, ain't no quitter. Pop that shit, here comes my glitter. Not a dancer, I got no skills. Bobbing my head and standing still. Tons of bitches, ravers, goths. Down the fucking get your salad toss. It's the greatest thing that you ever saw. Put your hands in the air for party rock. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Having a bang and you're all invited. That kid's posing, muscles flexing, trainings dressed like a favorite X-Men. If there's one thing that drives me crazy, you give high fives but you fucking hate me. Might have rabies, might have herpes. Breastfeed me and you'll have to burp me. I'll be up on stage, throwing out beads, grabbing my dick and spraying my seed all over your face. That's fucking rude. Raise it up and show your boobs. Dance around and go friggin' nuts. Just b-boy stance and light your blunts. Don't be a cunt. Tuck your chain, don't start no shit. Use your brain, it's all a game. Let's play some Yahtzee, eat Tide Pods and punch a Nazi. Not a dancer, I got no skills. Bobbing my head and standing still. Tons of bitches, ravers, goths. Down the fuck and get your salad tossed. It's the greatest thing that you ever saw. Put your hands in the air for a party rock. Oh my god, I'm so excited.